So I got a call the other day from one of the guys, and they had flown into a fence and broken the Falcon's wing. So it's just the front part of the leading edge, and we need to do a repair on that. And there is the bottom. So one of the first things I start doing now is putting masking tape on the area that I'm going to be repairing. You can see over there I've actually gone over the area with the masking tape, but that's fine because I will just cut into that. So I need to remove this area that's been damaged. So this is what I'm going to be doing now. So I've masked off the whole area that needs to be repaired, top and bottom. So what I need to do now is just mark out that area and then cut it out. So there you go, marked it out. You just need to mark out the one side. You don't need to mark out both the top and the bottom, just the one side, and I'll do the bottom. So using a very wide steel blade, just to keep your lines nice and straight, cut into the wing. There you go. So I've cut out the damaged area, and we're going to replace that damaged area now, fill it up with Rosal core. So here's an off-cut piece of Rosal. It's 10 millimeters thick. I know that the wing is about 9 millimeters thick, so this will be perfect. Take that, just put it down like that, and now mark it out. So there you go, marked it out, and then we're going to cut that piece out. So I always tend to cut a little bit bigger than what I've marked out, because you can always just sand that away. So that piece is going to fit beautifully inside there. And then what I do is I take a medium CA and I will glue that into position over there. Okay, so once you've got your little cutout there, and you take a bit of CA, medium CA, and just fill that area over there with your medium CA. This is Superior Instant Adhesive by Edlock, and I get it from AMT. And then what I do afterwards, I take an accelerator, which is in that little bottle over there, and then I put accelerator onto this piece, and then I will just put it together over there. Just make sure everything is aligned properly, because it'll glue quite quickly. There you can see I'm holding it on the repair, on the piece that I've added, and that is super strong. You can see sticking out at the bottom and sticking out at the top, and now I'm just going to form that with a bit of sandpaper. I'm first going to mask it with a bit of masking tape around the area, and then I will start working with a bit of sandpaper on a block so that you keep everything nice and straight, and then we'll move on to the next step after that, which is adding some carbon to it. I made up some sanding blocks with 80 grit sandpaper. It just takes some spray adhesive, sprayed on these high density foam pads. Put your sandpaper on, and then you've got some nice sandy blocks. Works a charm. With a black marking pen, just draw a line right close to the new block that you've put on the masking tape, so that when you start sanding and you get close to the masking tape, it'll start showing on the marking pen line, and then you need to go very slowly, and so that you don't over sand. So there you have it. You can see when the sandpaper starts getting to the marking pen line, then you know that you're very close, and you just got to be careful that you don't over sand there. So that's the top. You can see there. The bottom. So once everything is ready for your layup and you have your patches cut, make sure that the weave is in the same direction as the wing. So I can see how the weave is going that direction, and if you look there, you can see that my patch is in the same direction as well. And do the same for the bottom as well. So these are the transparency plastic sheets that I use. You need to get yourself some of these using the Free Coat NC770. Okay, so I've cut myself 2 pieces of overhead projector transparencies, big enough for the patchwork, and I have released it now with Free Coat NC770 on both sides, on each one, just using a piece of tissue. So once both of your pieces of transparency have been released on both sides, just wait for about 15 minutes and then just buff them out, because it does leave a bit of a residue on the transparency and it'll show up on your repair. So just buff them out with a piece of tissue paper. So after getting your transparencies ready, with masking tape, just tape them into position. Just make sure that they do manage to wrap around onto the split line where the yellow and the black meet. So try and get it as close as possible, maybe 1 millimeter or half a millimeter over that line. So the top will go over a little bit and the bottom will go over a little bit over towards the top, like that, like there. So I've mixed half a gram of resin, and I'm going to be using just a normal little paintbrush, and I'm going to apply it to this area over here. Put the patch on and then I'll debulk it. So just with a paintbrush, just put resin on your area, that. So we're just going to wet it out and make sure that the whole area has been properly covered with resin. Just dab it like this so that you don't distort the fabric. Remember, I've only mixed half a gram of resin, and a half a gram is actually more than enough for a repair like this. I probably won't even use all of it. It looks great. Using a paper towel, just debulk the excess resin. I know there's not much resin there, but whatever's going to be left behind is going to, as soon as you put it in the vacuum bag, it's going to squish all over the wing. So just try and get as much as you can out of it, and at the same time don't distort the fabric that you've just put down. So I'm going to do the same for the other side. Okay, so we're just going to apply resin to the bottom. Just repeat the whole process again. Okay, so I've added the bottom fabric now as well, and just place it in a way so that you get enough flap to make sure that the split line will follow this the same as the rest of the wing. So the top, you see the top there will fold over, and the bottom will fold over onto the split line. That's quite important. So I'm just going to wet this out now, and then we'll debulk this as well. Okay, this is all nicely wetted out. Time to debulk it. Be very careful you don't put the resin on the rest of the wing. It'll show up. There you go. So now we're just going to take our transparency paper, go over and over from the top. Piece of tape here, piece of tape over there, and then we put it in the vacuum bag. Okay, on this wing I've got a control horn over here, so that needs to be taken care of, otherwise it's going to puncture the vacuum bag. So I'm gonna just put a piece of closed cell foam over it like that with a piece of tape, and that'll take care of that. Okay, so there you go. It's all ready to be placed into the vacuum bag, and then we'll put it into the hot box. Okay, now that it's in the vacuum bag, I start applying vacuum and then go very slowly. So I'll put it on, let it suck a little bit, and then I will manipulate the bag so that I don't have really bad creases in areas I don't want, and make sure that it's actually pulling properly. So there you can see the repair area on the leading edge here. It's pulling nice and straight onto the split line, and from the bottom as well, you can see there it's pulling really nice onto the split line as well. So we should get quite a really good result there. There you can see the vacuum bag has gone around the protected area there by the control horn. It is not deforming the flap area at all, so that's all good. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to apply the rest of the pressure, vacuum pressure on here. We'll take it to 14 inches of mercury, and we'll leave it there for about 6 hours in the hot box. So it's been in the hot box for about 6 hours, and I'm going to take off the vacuum now and take it out. coming out of the vacuum bag. Go. Looking good. You can see. Absolute perfect repair. Okay, so there you go. Hopefully this video will help you, and if you find yourself in a similar situation, don't be scared to do it. I've given you the tools now to do it, so go ahead. Take your time, get everything set up, and just do the job.